عصف الأنين بداخلي كم مرة قد ذاق قلبي من أساه محن تمر وكم كرهت مصابها لكن رأيت الخير يسكب في أنا كم مرة قد ضقت من عظم الباب.
بسم الله الرحمن الرحيم. الحمد لله رب العالمين والصلاة والسلام على نبينا محمد وعلى آله وأصحابه ومن تبعهم بإحسان إلى يوم الدين وبعد. السلام عليكم ورحمة الله وبركاته. First of all, I'd like to ask Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to protect and aid our brothers and sisters from the aggression from the Sahayana. May Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala also grant refuge and protection to our brothers and sisters in Gaza and send them a protector. Allahumma ameen. Whilst I am concerned with the escalation of violence that has spread into Lebanon, I am delighted of the liquidation of Hassan Nasrallah, and most importantly, I like to send tahiyya to our brothers and sisters in Syria who suffered at the hands of Hassan Nasrallah. Walillahi alhamdu wa minna. Only they know what they went through when the filthy militias of Hassan Nasrallah entered into Syria and committed and perpetrated all sorts of massacres. So, mabruk to all our Syrian brothers and sisters, and congratulations to them for this great news. Now, on October the 13th, bi-idhnillahi subhanahu wa ta'ala, I will be visiting Speaker's Corner, inshallah ta'ala, and I hope the possessed Rafidi will attend so we can have a fruitful discussion, that will be respectable, bi-idhnillahi al-kareem. Now, I was doing some research, just reading some books, and I came across some evidences. And what I have noticed, and I think many have, but me personally, I can only speak on behalf of myself, is that 4 Imams actually pledged to the rulers of their time, either by action, meaning actually gave bay'ah verbally, or insinuated bay'ah, but they were stopped in giving bay'ah due to some aggression and tyranny from the party that the Imam was having a dispute with. So, is it not strange that 4 at the 12 Imams actually gave bay'ah to their leaders, but they were supposed to be divinely appointed Imams? I like to add as a clause before the Rawafid start getting emotional. Yes, duress. They were under duress, right? And this is why they gave the pledge. So they were overpowered. They're not the ashja'an nas. They're not the most bravest of the people because they forgot about the hadith of the Nabi alayhi salatu wasalam. Man qutila duna malihi fahuwa shaheed. Man qutila duna irdihi fahuwa shaheed. Man qutila duna malihi fahuwa shaheed. Or kama qal sallallahu alayhi wasallam. So whoever defends or dies or gets killed by defending his wealth, his honor, his religion, dinihi, he's a martyr. So none of the Imams wanted martyrdom. The way Hussein radiallahu anhu was, like they call, Sayyid al-Shuhada, which is really Hamza ibn Abdul Muttalib. But yeah, no one else wanted it. No. So what am I getting at? What are you saying, Haji, right? What are you saying? Okay. So let's get into this straight away. So as you can see in my hand, I've got Al-Ihtijaj by Abi Mansur Ahmed bin Ali bin Abi Talib al-Tabrasi. Imam al-Tabari is from the 6th century Hijri, right? He's from the Qarn al-Sadis. And when he's writing his Muqaddimah, his introduction, he says that I haven't mentioned the chains for most of the narration. Imma, as for liwujud al-ijma' alayhi, because of the consensus, right, of these narrations, or what the intellect, right, agrees with. So this book, so come back to me now before I present. So this book here, it's all here, so it's not as if I'm hiding it. What Imam al-Tabrasi is saying is that when he's not presenting the chains to this book, is because of the consensus, the consensus of the narrators and the narrations inside of it, or something that the muwafaqa, that the aql or the ma'qul agrees with. So what he's saying is for the Rafidah, I don't need to present the change because something is agreed by ijma' and the intellect agrees with it. So bear that in mind before you say, where's the chain? All right, where's the chain? One time they're akhbaris, the other time they're asulis, depending on who they talk to, right? Or they're rijalis in some sort. This is narrated by Imam Bakr alayhi salam, and it's very lengthy, so I don't want to go through all of it. Those who want to go into it, go to the chapter that mentions what happened after the death of the Prophet sallallahu alaihi wasallam. Is there. So, in a nutshell, Abu Bakr as-Siddiq was informed by Umar bin Khattab to write a letter to Osama bin Zayd to bring him back from his ghazwa because of the situation, the shani'a, the problems or issues or the hideous stuff that they've been associated with. And then Osama bin Zayd gets his letter, writes back and said, no, we're not happy with you. We know what happened in the Qadir, the old Shia narrative. But let's go into it. He mentioned, فَلَمَّا رَالِ اجْتَمَعَ الْخَلْقِ عَلَى أَبِي بَكْرٍ, that he saw a lot of people around Abu Bakr. And then he went towards Ali ibn Abi Talib, فَقَالَ لَهُ مَا هَذَا. He went up to Ali radiallahu anhu and said, what is this? And قَالَ لَهُ Ali, هَذَا مَا تَرَى. This is what you see, right? This is what you see. قَالَ لَهُ أُسَامَةَ فَهَلْ بَايَعْتَهُ. Have you pledged to him? Right? This is in your book. And then Ali radiallahu anhu فَقَالْ نَعَمْ يَا أُسَامَةَ. Yes, I did. So Ali radiallahu anhu pledged to Abu Bakr. فَقَالَ طَائِعًا أَوْ كَارِهًا. Did you do this by obedience or were you forced? Or was it something that was imposed on you? فَقَالَ, and Ali radiallahu anhu said, لَا بَلْ كَارِهًا. No, I was coerced in doing this. So as you see in my hand, we got Rijal Kishi, and it mentions the famous narration that all the companions became apostates apart from three, and that those three are Miqdad bin Aswad, Abu Dharr al-Ghifari, Usman al-Farsi. It mentions that they did not give bay'ah until they came to Amir al-Mu'mineen, and who was coerced and gave bay'ah, for bay'ah. There you go. So there you go. You got Rijal al-Kushi. There you go. So you got two books here from your sources that confirm that Ali radiallahu anhu gave bay'ah to Abu Bakr. To also add in this book as well, it mentions that Amir al-Mu'mineen was forced out of his house. He was like dragged out of his house. لما استخرج الأمير المؤمنين من منزله. That when Amir al-Mu'mineen was istakhraja, that he was like forced out of his house. You can say dragged out, forced out. So he's powerless, right? He was forced out of his house. And he, obviously, Fatimah anha came out, and after she lost her baby, that's a different story altogether. So there you go. Ali anhu gave bay'ah. Done. Ticked off. Leave that to one side now. Two of your books confirm it. And you also agree as well. So it's not that you dispute it. No problem. Mukrahan, karihan, sallamna jadlan ma'ak. That we agree and we submit and we concede for the sake of argument with you that it was mukrahan karih. After the martyrdom of Ali radiallahu anhu, Hassan radiallahu anhu took over the Khilafah. Now Muawiyah still controlled Sham, but the legitimate leader, the Imam of the Muslims, was Hassan bin Ali radiallahu anhuma. Now Hassan submitted and relinquished the bay'ah and bay'a Muawiyah radiallahu anhu. He gave bay'ah to Muawiyah. Now what I'm going to prove now is that Hassan radiallahu anhu had no shortages of men. He had plenty of manpower. He could have fought Muawiyah radiallahu anhu from your own books, and I'll prove it. So why did Hassan radiallahu anhu give bay'ah? Okay, you would argue to save the blood of the Muslims. So I would then argue, why did Hussein radiallahu anhu also give bay'ah to Yazid? Because that would save the blood of the Muslims. For you, Muawiyah kafir, right? Yazid kafir. So as you can see on screen, we've got the book Tafsir Nur al-Thaqalain, and it mentions in the book of the Manaqib al-Ibn al-Shahr al-Ashub, I'm just going to summarize it, that Musayb bin Najib al-Firazi and Sulaiman bin Surad came to Hassan bin Ali and basically said, look, you surprise us. Why? بايعت المعاوية ومعك 40,000 مقاتل من الكوفة سواء أهل البصرة والحجاز. That you surprised us. You gave bay'ah to Muawiyah. You gave bay'ah. بايعت المعاوية. You gave bay'ah to Muawiyah. And you have 40,000 fighters from Kufa. And that doesn't even take into account the people of Basra and Hijaz. And then Hassan radiallahu anhu obviously explained why. You've got al-ikhtisas. Okay? And it mentions that one of the companions of Hassan came to Hassan bin Ali, and he was like reclining in his house. And then he said to him, Assalamu alayka ya mudhill al-mu'mineen. Oh, peace be upon you, oh disgrace of the believers. Look how they're speaking to Hassan radiallahu anhu. And then and Hassan radiallahu anhu said, like, descend and don't be hasty. And then he came into his house, he went to him, and then said, Mada qulta? Hassan radiallahu anhu said, what did you say? And he said, Qultu, Assalamu alayka ya mudhill al-mu'mineen. I said it twice. And then Hassan radiallahu anhu said, what knowledge do you have of this? And then basically he's been harsh towards Hassan radiallahu anhu. So as you can see under Qais bin Sa'd bin Ubadah, long story, I'm just going to keep it brief, that Muawiyah wrote to Hassan bin Ali salawatullah alayhima that he should precede him and Hussein and the companions of Ali. فخرج معهم قيس بن سعد بن عبادة الأنصاري فقدموا الشام فأذن لهم معاوية وعدل لهم الخطبة فقال يا حسن قم فبايع فقام فبايع ثم قال للحسين قم فبايع فقام فبايع etc etc. So they got to Syria with Qais bin Sa'd bin Ubadah. They got to Sham, and then Muawiyah gave a khutbah, and then he said to Hassan first, stand up and give the pledge, and Hassan stood up and gave the pledge, and so did Hussein. There you go. And then you got different riwayah mentioned the same thing, that they gave the pledge of allegiance. Okay, so you got Rijal al-Kishi. Okay, lastly with Hassan radiallahu anhu, you got Kashf al-Ghumma fi ma'rifat al-a'imma, and it mentions, it's very important, I want you to pay attention to, right? 162 in my book, but this is 392 in the other. This is volume 2, this is volume 2 as well, but I don't know this ages ago, but yeah. So just basically, it's got the letter of the Sulh, and it mentions this is the situation or the letter. It says, Bismillahir Rahmanir Rahim, هذا ما صالح عليه الحسن بن علي بن أبي طالب معاوية بن أبي سفيان. This is the Sulh that happened between Hassan ibn Ali ibn Abi Talib, Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan. And this is an agreement that he would yusallim, he would submit to him the wilaya of the Amr al-Muslimin, the orders of the Muslims. And this is in accordance to the application of what's in the Book of Allah and the Sunnah of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam and the Sirat al-Khulafai al-Rashidin. Okay? And he said, it is not upon Muawiyah ibn Abi Sufyan that he gives this covenant into anyone after him. Alright? And what did he mention with the arrows over? Bal yakunu al-amr min ba'dihi shura bayn al-muslimin. That after him, it should be shura. So what happened with the divinely appointed position? It's saying here is shura. Right? So when you keep banging on about, okay, coming back to me now, so you got Kashf al-Ghumma fi ma'rifat al-a'imma. It mentions that this is the sulh. And then Hassan radiallahu anhu yusallim ilay, that he submitted to him the wilayat of the Amr al-Muslimin, the situation, the command of the matter of the Muslimin, and that Muawiyah cannot give this to anyone, this covenant to anyone, right? Meaning he shouldn't give this leadership to anyone, except this is what? This matter becomes shura bain al-Muslimin. Shura, this is what we're saying all along, right? So where did the divinely appointed position come into this, right? Hassan radiallahu anhu gave it voluntarily. He had arba'un alf. He had 40,000 in Kufa alone, never mind in Basra and in Hijaz. He gave the bayah, yusallim ilay. Okay, submitted to him and gave the wilaya to him, the leadership and whatnot, and this became Amul Jama'ah, the year of the congregation. And on top of that, this is the matter which is not for Muawiyah, but it's Amrul Bain. This is a matter which is Shura Bain al Muslimin. Khalas, done. Now Hussein radiallahu anhu. We've got here Al Irshad lil Mufid, and it mentions, as you can see on screen. So to summarize, Mufid mentions when Hussein radiallahu anhu saw the military in Nineveh, he obviously negotiated with Umar bin Sa'd. So Umar bin Sa'd wrote to Ubaidullah bin Ziyad and mentions, هذا حسين قد أعطاني أن يرجع إلى المكان الذي أتى منه أو أن يسير إلى ثغر من الثغور فيكون رجالا من المسلمين له ما لهم وعليه ما عليهم أو أن يأتي أمير المؤمنين يزيد فيدع يده في يده. So three options. So the first one was, let me return back. Right? Let me return back to where I came from. Number two, let me go to the frontiers and I'll be from the men of the Muslimin. Okay? And then he mentioned the third point, which is that he'll go to Amir al-Mu'mineen, Yazid, فَيَدَعَ يَدَهُ فِي يَدِهِ, that he will place his hand in Yazid's hand. Okay? This is in your book. So you got Al-Irshad lil-Mufid. Three of your divinely appointed Imams, two voluntarily, okay, one was forced. The second voluntarily, he had the army, voluntarily gave the pledge. Here you go, it's yours. I don't want it. I'm going to give it because I want the Muslim to be united. His father fought Muawiyah, they according to you, kafir, munafiq, but Hassan radiallahu anhu, no, he gave the pledge. قُمْ فَبَايَعْ Hassan, and Hassan gave the pledge. So did Hussein radiallahu anhu. Anyway, now Hussein radiallahu anhu, when he seen the reality, yes, I believe he wanted to topple the government. The people of Kufa betrayed him, and on the way there, obviously didn't realize Muslim bin Aqil got killed, and then he thought, look, he was kind of duressed as well to a certain extent, but he was willing to give the bay'ah. Obviously, because of the situation didn't pan out the way he wanted it to, he was willing to give his hand to Yazid. No problem. That was because his khuruj wasn't successful because of what happened, right? So three of your imams, two gave the pledge to what you would call kafir munafiqs, Salman al-Quraysh, what's he called, Samari, Lat al-Uzza, and all these names you call Abu Bakr, Umar. Ali anhu had no problem. Muawiyah, in fact, he was given pledge. Yazid, even worse, Hussein anhu said, look, I'll place my hand in his hand. Now, Hussein's son now, Ali bin Hussein. Ali bin Hussein. He also was forced to give the pledge according to your riwayat. So as you can see on screen, we've got Al-Jami'u lil-Kutub al-Arba'a, the 4 books, right? 4 books. Just to clarify, the hadith before Yazid kills the Qurashi man. So he mentioned, حديث علي بن حسين مع يزيد لعنه الله ثم أرسل إلى علي بن حسين فقال له مثل ما قالته للقرشي فقال له علي بن حسين أرأيت إن لم أقر لك أليس تقتلني كما قتلت الرجل بالأمس. So Ali bin Hussein said to Yazid, look, if I don't do what you're saying in a nutshell, right, are you going to kill me like you killed the man yesterday? فقال له يزيد لعنه الله بلى. Yeah, Yazid said, oh yeah, I'm going to kill you. قال له علي بن حسين قد أقررت لك بما سألت. He said, look, I, affirm what you asked of me. أنا عبد مكره. He said, I am a servant that is coerced. There you go. The first 4 imams, right, 1, 2 gave the bay'ah, mukrahan. Hassan, no. Third, yeah, he was willing to because of the situation, right? But he was willing to. According to your books, he was willing to give bay'ah to Yazid, a kafir, according to you. He was willing to. Okay, taqiyya, right? Taqiyya, obviously. And then number 4, duress, he gave bay'ah as well. Now this became a source of contention between the Shia. Like, hold on here, what the hell's going on? Like, all our imams are giving bay'ah. 4, the first 4 in fact. 3 was willing, but obviously he fought to the death. And became a shaheed, radiallahu anhu. So as you can see on screen, we've got the book Ma'rifat al-Imama by Sayyid Muhammad al-Husayni al-Tahrani. So he talks about the Battle of Harra and he said Muslim and Uqba came, slaughtered the people, plundered Medina, killed, slaughtered, took the wealth and whatnot with the command of Yazid. And he mentions they committed all sorts of jara'im that the pen is unable to describe. And he mentions that they committed all sorts of jara'im and whatnot. And then he mentions with the arrows over, فَقَدْ بَايَعَ الْإِمَامُ الصَّاجِدِ alayhi sallam. Right? And because this is darura, and because of taqiyya and whatnot, because of his safety for his life and the Ahlul Bayt from Banu Hashim. And Sayyid Muhammad al-Husayni al-Tahrani mentions ومثل هذه البيعة كبيعة أمير المؤمنين عليه السلام أبا بكر بعد 6 أشهر من وفاة الرسول الأكرم واستشهد صديقة الكبرى فاطمة الزهراء سلام الله عليها. And he mentions that this bay'ah, meaning what Ali bin Hussein gave to Yazid, is similar the bay'ah of Amir al-Mu'mineen, that when he gave to Abu Bakr as-Siddiq after 6 months from the death of the Messenger sallallahu alayhi wasallam, or al-Akram, the noble, and the martyrdom of the Siddiqah, Fatimah Zahra. قال المحروم القمي, the late al-Qummi said that there's no benefit in mentioning these matters, even if it's proven. وإن كان ثابت, even if it's proven, there's no benefit in mentioning these people, because this would lead to the weakening of the people's beliefs, of the people's aqa'id. So then don't even mention this, because it will lead to that. And then it mentions that it's always necessary, da'iman, always, that you mention the facts that don't lead to any sort of contradictions in the people's beliefs. And then he mentions وَقَالَ مَحْرُونَ الْأَمِينَ or مَحْرُومًا أَمِينَ. He mentions that أنا لا أدري أي الواقعة فيها مصلحة. He said, I don't know if there's any benefits in mentioning this sort of stuff, right? And you should sort of mention, you must remind the people that are not benefited not to sort of write this down. You understand? Don't write this down to a certain extent. So come back to me now. So this is how it's affected the Shia people, where they're saying, as Sayyid Muhammad al-Hussein al-Tahrani, and Mahroom al-Qummi, al-Mahroom al-Amin, Mahroom al-Amin? Yeah, they said, look, don't even mention this. Now, this is going to lead to weakening the people's iman. So 4 Imams, maybe more, but this is the ones that I'm aware of, that they gave bay'ah. They gave the Pledge of Allegiance to the so-called kuffar, munafiqeen, Fir'aun, Latan, Uzza, Samari, Sanam al-Quraysh. But your Imams are saying, look, don't even mention this, man. Even if it's proven, so what? This is like the mukrahan and whatnot. This is the extent of how far the scholars will go to say, look, if there's no benefit, don't mention it. This ain't gonna be beneficial for the aqaid of the people. You're gonna cause people to leave the Shia if you speak about the reality. Rather, you want to, highlight, the Muslim, the Nawasib, but you want to speak about the reality and put a timeline on situations. You're lost, like a deer in the headlights. So please, fear Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala to the Shia that don't know, our Shia brothers and sisters who are unaware of these situations, and all they do is be blinded with hatred of Abu Bakr and Umar and Aisha and all the companions. Look, the harsh reality was, there wasn't no issues. Yes, Ali anhu at the start, obviously fact that he had a share in the mouth. We have no issues with that. But he gave bay'ah. He obviously fought under the army of Abu Bakr anhu. Also took a slave girl and had a son named Muhammad bin Hanafiya under the Khilafah of Abu Bakr. Umar bin Khattab married the daughter of Ali anhu, Kulthum, but yet they say ذَلِكَ الْفَرْجِ وَإِنَّ ذَلِكَ الْفَرْجُ صِبْنَا, that this is a vagina that was usurped from us, that was stolen from us. It wasn't the case. He lived under 3 khulafa, and he was honored, during the Khilafah of Abu Bakr and Umar. He was made the chief qadi. On top of that, Hassan radiya anhu, when he gave the bay'ah, Muawiyah was so generous towards them. Subhanallah al-Azim. I'm just saying, yes, have your disagreements. We do not have no issues in you saying, I don't really agree with the way the bay'ah was given to Abu Bakr. No problem. That's not a problem at all. If you don't agree with that, that's fine. But slandering, cursing, takfir, accusing the member of the believer of being a fornicator, hasha lillah wa iyadu billah, please stop this. This is not necessary. So I'm sure you understand that it's not as straightforward as you've been taught, right? And October the 13th, I'll be there in Speaker's Corner. So whoever wants to attend, please do. I'd love to meet our brothers and to have a conversation with them. And to my Shia friends, come to Speaker's Corner, we'll have a dialogue. You understand? We'll have a dialogue and I'll present some books to you. If you disagree with it, fine. If you agree with it, beautiful. And we could come to some common terms, inshallah ta'ala. So take care of yourselves. Salla alayhi Muhammad.
ليس الغريب غريب الشام واليمن، إن الغريب غريب اللحد والكفن، إن الغريب له حق لغربته على المقيمين في الأوطان والسكن، سفر بعيد وزاد لن يبلغني وقوتي ضعفت والموت يطلبني، ما أحلم الله عني حيث أمهلني، وقد تماديت في ذنبي ويسترني، تمر ساعة